Hey there, and welcome back to pretty much another reaction. This video is by Hudson Harris, the voice actor for Alex, and we have reacted to one of his videos beforehand, and he literally just uploaded this about a couple hours ago. And this video seems to be kind of like a prequel to the story based off, or not the story, but the video that we saw last time with Alex, the coyote, kind of like malfunctioning and Roger interacting with Alex. And that video ended up with Alex pretty much driving into a tree and killing himself. So, makes me wonder what this prequel is going to be like. Once again, I found out about it on Game Jolt, but I'm a bit quicker now to the timing of things. As always, the channel and the video will be in the description below as always, so, if you want to check out their stuff, it's in the description. So literally right here, well, some of you guys wanted a part 2, and while I'm sure this wasn't exactly what you had in mind, I felt like there needed to be additional context revolving around Roger's story and how he became involved with the tragedies associated with Link's Funland. Plus, I couldn't help but tie the story in with another somewhat significant event that takes place in the games. Can you guess the identity of the girl struck by Roger? And then here we have his head was tightly curled with deadly secrets furled. Bets were made, debts were paid, and all was right with the world. Let a rhyme. As always, here's the disclaimer. Heisenberg, is the original creator of Together Again, a Lake's Funland story. This is all pretty much just like their own interpretation, their own thing. But yeah, this has me really interested. So we're gonna I just wanted to at least get a recording. Canada. I just wanted to get my initial reaction recorded in case I put this up. Alright, so this video is titled DarkSkyDriver.wav. Okay, so I guess we already know that it seems to be involved with some kind of car accident. So let's see, when does this take place? April 18th, 1984. So the same year as the missing children, 12:13 a.m. Thus, whoa. Thus marks the beginning, or no, what was that? It says thus marks the end of 2 lives that night, right? Thus marks the beginning of the end of 2 lives on this night. The beginning of the end of 2 lives. I'm assuming this is both Roger and the person he seemingly hit. Okay. Apparently this is connected to a major event in the game, but I can't quite tell who would that be. Wait, actually, I actually think I can tell now who it might be. I won't say anything yet. I'll leave my thoughts to the end, but... Wait, oh...
Oh no. No.
Oh, Roger.
Oh, God, please help me. What do I do?
Oh, I'm gonna just...
God
What?
Cannot help you, Roger.
That voice does sound familiar. It sounds like the entity.
But I can.
It is the entity. What?
What?
What is it? What indeed?
What are you?
So the entity reached out to
Where am I?
Roger too?
How do you know my name?
I know many things about this quaint
Also,
little town.
I love the
and
voice
the
that he
quaint
did for it.
little people who live in it.
Because he did,
People like
Hudson did the
you,
voices for everyone.
Roger.
Really
a
nice.
Simple yet hard-working man with a luxurious office job who's well respected by your colleagues. It certainly wasn't easy for you to get to this position at this point in your life. You've struggled with addiction and alcoholism in the past, but have since overcome your vices and remained sober for almost a decade. Yet
You know so much already.
half-century mark of your existence in this world,
Half-century.
you decide to fall off the wagon. And this, what you see now before you, is
the
the
consequence of your actions.
consequence
Or
of
choice.
your choice.
Okay, before, I'm just going to say it now. in case you don't know, from based on the events of the game, one of the major events is that Harlan's mother and no, Harlan's mother dies in a car accident. But there's not much details. There's not much other than, this was something that was explained by Ashley when she was talking to the little girl of the police investigator and all that. Essentially, like, she was explaining how Harlan had pretty much lost everyone except his father, right? Because Harlan lost his sister because of a kidnapping that occurred, and he lost his mother before that due to a car accident. But not much detail was provided there. It was just, that was the context for Harlan's life. So it seems like what Hudson's doing here is adding, his own context here. Like, he's, he's adding the context for what happened to Harlan's mom, being that, of course, Harlan's mom ended up getting hit. Because obviously, car accident, you could think, oh, did she get hit by a car? Was she in a fatal car accident where she was the driver? But in Hudson's interpretation, Harlan's mom is the one who got hit. So
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's interesting.
I didn't mean.
That's definitely the character, though.
This is so one
It's
big
the only
accident.
time a car accident
Please
actually
don't hurt
happens.
me.
Oh, Roger. You misunderstand.
And this is before Harlan died, so it's
I'm
before the
not
missing
here
children
to
incident.
punish you for your misdeed. I'm here to help
Offering
you
deals yet again.
resolve
So it seems,
it.
so this entity is just in the town itself. It's not just
What do
something
you
that
mean?
dealt with Oscar, which I guess
come
isn't
to
surprising.
all those in dire need, so long as they are desperate enough to accept my assistance.
I guess, like, to be honest, like, considering this entity is certainly, like, you could easily say that this entity is kind of like a representation of the devil who, like, comes to you with temptation. And in this case, right, like, people make their mistakes, or they're in a tough spot, and they can accept this entity's help, but at a cost, right? For Oscar, right, we know that he had to at one point give up his son in a way, right? And then afterwards, in order to get more help, he had to, provide the blood and souls of 5 children. So, the
What are
entity
you?
being a
I
devilish
can be
entity,
many things
devil-like,
to you,
maybe it is
Roger,
devil.
But if you were
Definitely makes
wise,
sense.
you would consider me a friend.
Yes,
Otherwise,
that's the same thing that he
I'll
says to
simply
Harlan.
leave you to clean up the mess you caused.
No, please, don't go. I'm sorry.
Huh.
How
So
can you help me?
my question is, what does
Can you
Roger
bring her back to life?
what does Roger
somehow?
give back?
Sadly, such a thing is beyond my capabilities. The girl is dead,
Yep.
now and forever.
Oh, then what can you do?
I can arrange it so nobody shall ever know you are the one responsible for ending her life.
Also, I have been noticing that some of the subtitles have, like, a capital letter. I'll try and at the end, like, maybe write out what that all the capital letters, like, make up in the end. But I will say, initially, when I read about this whole car accident deal with Roger, I was about to say, like, 2 questions came up. Or no, the main question was, like, if Roger, like, if Roger was, like, in this big car accident, how does he end up being in the first video? Because I was gonna say, like, surely you would have seen some sort of jail time unless nobody found out. But I guess we have our answer. And another thing I was gonna mention is that initially I didn't think about this, like, timeline wise or everything. I was gonna think that for some reason it was Rachel's mom that got hit by Roger, but obviously timeline wise that makes no amount of sense because that would have been decades before 1984.
You mean?
But still,
You mean
what
I won't go
did
to jail?
Roger have to give up? He had to give up something.
Yes, Roger. You will be spared from any consequences for your actions here tonight.
But at what cost?
No one shall ever know what truly happened here,
Wait.
or what happened to the little girl whose life you cut short.
Little girl? Wait a minute. Never mind. So it's not Harlan's mom. Little girl. Wait. No one shall ever know what truly happened here or what happened to the little girl whose Life you cut short. Oh my goodness, could this be Harlan's sister? Like, let's say the quote unquote truth that the entity created was that, you know, Harlan's sister got kidnapped, never to be seen again, because in reality she got killed in this car crash. Because it's a little girl now. I was a bit weird at the usage of the word girl in there, just because like it's, you know, he's treating it as if it was a child more than anything. But this must be Harlan's sister then, not his mom, right? If nobody knows what truly happens, that's crazy.
I can live with that.
But then what
I'm
was?
Sure, you can.
But then what was she
you
doing out
also
there?
Must realize that I do not simply help those in need without expecting something in return.
What is it that you want then?
What do you want?
I can give you anything.
Oh.
Money, my car, my
Something
home,
tells me you
anything.
want something a bit more.
Roger, you naive old man. I do not need the precious treasures that you value so dearly.
Then what do you want?
That's the question.
All I ask from you is a favor.
Oh, it's a blank
in
check.
return for my
It's a blank
services.
check. You don't take blank checks in favors
Alright.
like this.
What is it?
Oh, or maybe it's not.
There's an old associate
Oh,
of mine
Oscar.
named Oscar Magwood.
Oh,
He owns
okay.
a state-of-the-art eatery and entertainment venue called Lakes Funland.
Did he get him to work there or
Have you
something?
heard of it by chance?
Yeah. Everyone who's ever been to Montreal knows about that place.
Oh, this takes place in Canada.
Why?
That explains Canada.
Well, let's just say that things have been difficult for him as of late when it
Okay.
comes to running his company. But
Huh.
while I am in no position to help him directly, I
You're
can
gonna-
employ others to help him instead.
Interesting.
So, to fulfill your end of the bargain, you must relinquish your current job and apply for a position at Lakes Funland.
So that's how he ends up
I'll
there.
ensure that you'll end up hired and remain a valuable asset to the business.
What? You want me to quit my day job?
I mean, the alternative.
No. I'm not.
The alternative is that you go to jail
executive
and you'll lose your
sales
job.
executive. I've spent years working to get up to that position. I can't just give it up at the drop of a hat.
But
yeah.
I'm afraid you must, Roger. If you wish to keep our little secret.
It's not like he has a
hidden.
choice if he wants to.
After all,
You know.
you've already developed such a strong reputation. It would certainly
Yeah, I'd
be
be ashamed to
for
see it all go to
all
waste.
Go down the drain once word of this little incident gets out. Think of what your family and coworkers would think of you if they were to hear what you did after a night of ill-advised overindulgence.
Alright. Fine. We'll do it.
So,
Starting tomorrow, I'll
so the
hand
price
in my
isn't
letter
that
of
high.
resignation and apply for a position at Lakes Funland.
At least now we know how he ends up there.
Oh, and one more thing.
Oh no, what is it?
While you are a member of staff at Lakes Funland, I want you to act as a protector for the children that come to visit it.
That's
for
really
its
ironic.
Wonders and splendors.
That's really ironic now.
As a means of making up for the child's life you have ended here tonight.
Really?
If by any means
Ooh.
you allow a child's life to end inside that building,
Uh-huh.
I will come find you again. And this time, it won't be to save you.
So, okay.
Do you understand?
It all ends up now.
Yes. I understand.
Remarkable. That shall be all.
I like
then.
that. Okay.
I don't understand.
Don't understand
Who
what.
is this kid? What
That's
are you
what
doing
I'm
wandering
saying.
the road in the middle of the night?
That's what I'm wondering.
Ignorance is bliss,
I don't.
Roger. If you were to know this girl's parents, what would happen if you were
Yeah.
to eventually cross paths with them? I doubt you'd be able to keep your emotions in check, not without something to take the edge off. And we wouldn't want that to happen again now, would we?
Like,
Put that aside.
I mean, that is a good
assure
question
you
though, because if
all
that
will
was
be in good hands.
Harlan's sister, what was she doing out there?
All you need to do now is get in your car,
Unless she actually did get kidnapped.
sober up, and drive back home. I will take care of the rest.
What are you going to do with her?
All will be in good hands, Roger.
And so there you have it. And I love the way that this video ties everything together in this like interpretation of, I guess like some parts of the story, right? Because what Hudson's done is pretty much make it so obviously this explains why Roger is at Lake's Funland, and it explains why he's even, what happens to him at the end of that first tape. Because obviously in that first tape, it's stated that it's taking place a few days after a child has already died in the restaurant. Of course, no one knows that the child actually died, but it happened. We know it happened. And that explains why he ends up dying at the end of that first tape, because assumingly as he's driving away from Lake's Funland, he's done with what he's witnessed with Alex and everything, and as he's driving he sees the entity, and he set out to punish him, which was part of the deal that he made, which is like it's interesting because it means that this whole time the entity was always planning on like killing him anyway, screwing him over, because obviously the entity was already planning on having children's lives be taken. The fact that he made that deal with Oscar Magwood, who owned Lake's Funland, it was the only logical choice. And that pretty much sealed Roger's, sentence at that point. So pretty much before I end this, I guess the only thing is that in this interpretation again, it wasn't that the kidnapping wasn't real. I'm assuming that Harlan's sister was indeed kidnapped, but she somehow got away. That would explain why she was out in the middle of the woods at night, alone, and met her untimely demise because of Roger's, drunk driving, pretty much. It's the only thing that really explains everything full circle wise, like why they never find her, even though she seemingly escapes the kidnappers. To me, that is the most likely of the explanations, for everything that's happened here. I guess, because we only ever really saw the entity interact with Oscar and talk with him, and Harlan, of course, it felt so, isolated, but now that we know he literally talks to Roger, someone who has not been associated with Lake's Funland before, this entity seems to be more of a supernatural presence on Earth itself, more than anything. So it's definitely an interesting way to look at it. Still, I really like it. I really like that. It definitely caught me off guard. I did not think I was going to be seeing the entity in this one. And considering, the voice work is just really good. And I really like the voice. Great job to Hudson Harris. One final point that I didn't make when I was reacting to this is that this now makes it... The thing that was very interesting about this entity is that in both cases with Oscar and Roger, in this case, right, he ends up punishing them even after, making the deal with them. Because with Roger, yeah, he saves him from the whole problem with Vanessa, right? But also makes it so that if he ends up, he ends up dying if he lets a child die at the restaurant. And with Oscar, even though the whole deal was to save his family, right? In the process of doing all that, he loses his family. Even if even with the freak accidents, quote unquote, of, Vanessa and Vanessa's mom dying, the fact is that Harlan ends up being one of the 5 children That is part of the sacrifice that Oscar has to make to protect his family. So he had to sacrifice part of his family to protect his family. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Like, the irony is ridiculous. But yeah, with all that said, that'll be it for this. As I said already, the video's in the description below as always, as well as the channel. But yeah, with all that said, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Lets me know you're enjoying the content and want to see more of it. Of course, great job to Hudson. Again, it was great to see kind of like a part 2. Definitely not like a sequel, obviously, but it was really cool, like, you know, diving more into Roger as a character. That, you know, it's just really cool. I don't know. I don't have much else to say, really. And with that said, I'll see you in another video. Take care.